Anybody on? Anybody jumping on? Hi, Brendan. Welcome. Looks like there's a few people jumping on. There's 8 people on right now. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for jumping on. Had a nice rest last night. It was actually quite a long day for me yesterday to do 2 lives. So I realized that's a little bit too much when I'm channeling. So maybe 1 live when I'm doing it is better. So please remind me of that. So today's topic is crystals, and I've nearly got probably about another 2 more hours on these. These are absolutely beautiful pieces, gorgeous, phenomenal. Just how I like them. So natural, no polishing, just as they're meant to be. Just gorgeous, really beautiful, and mounted so lovely. So gorgeous pieces of amethyst. Beautiful. Beautiful. So yeah, I hope you can hear me okay, everybody. Beautiful. Let's talk about crystals. Some of the, I guess, most frequently asked questions is like, what's the best starter crystal? Are crystals good for everybody? And this is a good place to start, really. Are crystals good for everybody? Over the 2 decades I've worked with crystals, I've never come across anybody who, in the long term of holding a crystal or wearing a crystal, ever saw it as demonic or evil. You could argue Moldavite does, obviously, can cause a very quick, rapid response with, chest, with, going bright red. They call it the Moldavite flush. There's so many other aspects of this crystal of how it kind of heals you very quickly. But some people take it the wrong way and think it's evil and it's bad for them. And so that's kind of like the only, I guess, niggle, the difficult part when people don't really get what's going on. So that's okay. But, if we just look at a beautiful piece of rose quartz, just a lovely piece of rose quartz. Rose quartz is probably a great starter crystal, really good starter. It's very delicate on the energy. It's very comforting and soothing. So it's a really, really lovely crystal. So that would be kind of my starter crystal for somebody who doesn't really know much about it, not really that bothered. You do see guys sometimes wearing tiger's eye around their wrist as a, because it is beautiful. Tiger's eye is a beautiful crystal. It really is. I do like the blue tiger's eye, but the tiger's eye itself is gorgeous. It really is. And it's a very powerful crystal, and it's great for your energy. Whereas something like this, it's more of a comfort crystal for me. It kind of makes me feel balanced, just kind of generally okay when I'm working through the day. If I don't feel too good, it kind of balances me, makes me feel a bit better. It brings a lot of joy. That's why I always have a piece near me. And not just that, it's fabulous for meditation. It's a really good crystal to meditate with because it kind of protects. You can feel that love and protection around you when you just hold it. So shungite, is a great crystal for men, and I think wearing shungite for guys is a wonderful thing because it breaks down the barriers of crystals being woo-woo or, stupid, or whereas you can, scientifically prove that shungite is a very, very good protector against harmful radiation, sickness. It's very good for Wi-Fi, 5G phones. It's just good overall. It's really is a good protective crystal. So it's a good starter crystal to give a guy who then starts to acknowledge the fact that, oh yeah, it's science-based, it's a crystal. And from there you can kind of mold them into a mindset of another crystal that can help them. And then once they've embraced that this crystal can help, then it's hard not to embrace other crystals and how they can help too. So the question is, are crystals good for everybody? I believe they are. I've never met a crystal that I didn't like. I've never put a crystal on anybody that hasn't not helped them. What I noticed over the years was if it was a guy who was a non-believer and he came because of his wife, and I just gave him a crystal, it might have been a tektite or something, or it might have been something beautiful. It might have been a moldavite, really, really beautiful piece of, amethyst, gorgeous piece of amethyst, or something as a gift. And they're like, why? What would you give me that for? I said, just a gift. It's a gift. What is it? It's just a mineral. Easier to say rather than crystal, mineral. It's a nice mineral from Mother Earth. That's it. And the next time you see them again, they'll go like this. They'll show it you. And you'll go, that's really nice. And you'll look at them, or I did, and wow, there's a change in this guy. This guy isn't the same person anymore. There's a change, and that's the power of crystal healing. Phenomenal, really. So I did notice on even the non-believers, it doesn't matter. I'd rather just give you a present. I don't need to tell you what it does. If you feel, if I know it works, I'm going to give you the crystal because I know it works, not because of what you feel about it or think about it. So when you buy a crystal for somebody and you think, oh, is a crystal good for everybody? It really is. I wasn't here a while ago. I went off and there was this person that wasn't doing very well, and I ended up meeting this person who wasn't doing very well, and I put a Morsitsit around them, and I think it was a Morsitsit, or was it Vesuvianite? Anyway, within moments there was a change in this person, and I witnessed it, and so did everybody else. And the next morning when they woke up, everybody said, oh, where's your crystal? And the lady said, I slept with it all night. Now, most people would take a crystal off on a night. Anybody that wasn't into crystals or didn't know anything about it would have taken it off. Don't sleep with it. You take your jewelry off. Why is it that this lady kept a jewelry and she was in her 70s? Why would you keep? She said, I didn't want to take it off. She's not into crystal healing. She has no idea what crystals do. But yet she felt the need to keep it on all night. That's saying something, right? It's beautiful. Really is beautiful. So crystals for starters. I mean, amethyst is a beautiful crystal to start with. I really do like the energy of amethyst. Smoky quartz is a phenomenal crystal. Natural smoky quartz, great starter crystal. Citrine, natural citrine, even fired citrine is a beautiful crystal to start with. Really, really nice. once you get your friend or your family into crystals and they now start wearing them, you find that in time they have a collection. So there's a guy in the village, when I first started healing, and he had no belief system at all, and I just gave him a crystal, and now he's got, I don't know, about 50. He goes to the local crystal store and buys one every week. He just enjoys buying little crystals, and I didn't tell him to buy them. I just gave him one as a gift, and he was fascinated by it. And this fascination to me is more of a pull towards self-healing. That's why some people are fascinated by living near the sea. There's a reason for that, because the sea is a natural healer. It's one of the most powerful vacuum cleaners for our energy, negative energy. So it's beautiful. And some people say, "Oh, I've got a fascination about the sea," or I've always got a pull towards the sea. Well, if it's a vacuum cleaner, it will. And I need to chase the sun because it's a healer. You don't chase it, you need it, and you feel the need to heal yourself. But you wouldn't go around saying, well, I need the sun to heal me every day. I need the sea to suck my energy, my negative energy. So you would use the words, I feel the need to be by the sea. I don't know why, but I just need to be by the sea. As a healer, we hear these words and we smile because we know exactly why you're going by the sea. I need to get out. Well, of course you need to get out, because you need to put your feet on Mother Nature. You need to put your feet on the soil and the grass. You need to be close to Mother Nature, the trees and the forests. You need to get out to the mountains. You need to get out near a river. All of these things are all nature, and they're all healing. And we don't embrace why we do that. We don't recognize why we do that. And I guess 20 years ago when I started healing, I smiled because I was the same. I didn't recognize why I was doing it. And my first mentor was putting everything into place in order for me. So that was such a brilliant time, because things that I was doing and saying, she'd smile and say, well, you know why you did that? You know why you said that? And I'm like, wow, I didn't, but it all makes sense. And wouldn't it be wonderful to have a teacher or a guide or a mentor throughout the whole of the world, throughout, every, I don't know, school or every hospital, be able to explain why we do things, where it's actually so close to nature and Mother Earth that we've been pulled away from it to ignore it, to change the outcome of it so that we don't recognize it and we don't talk about it. And that's by design. Of course it's by design. The medical industry doesn't want you to know how to heal. Of course they don't. And to be fair, we've grown up as lads and lasses who kind of were, well, my age anyway, we had to figure out things for ourselves, really. Apart from the schooling system, we had to figure things out for ourselves. And like, I lived in a place called West Yorkshire. There was no spiritual people there at all who could give me information about these things. So, it's good to try and look at life a little bit different from day to day, rather than just see it as black and white. There's so many shades of grey, and there's so many shades of healing. And when I look at a single human being now, I mean, I just look down there now. Everybody's on the phone walking. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One person without the phone. Everybody else is either looking down at the phone or, these are between 60 and 75-year-old people. Don't tell me that the elderly people, just because they had the understanding of not having a phone and having a phone now, they know the difference. That means nothing anymore. Something's being turned up now, and everybody is glued to their phone. Literally, everybody's glued to the phone. And it's really sad to see we've gone from human beings to androids. We are actually the android. You know, the phone's not the android. We've turned into computers. And I think when you've got crystals, like if you're wearing a crystal, I don't know what it is, but it seems to shout or shake us a little bit from the black screen and from this energy that is around us that's stopping us from attuning to what we need to. It's trying to make us dumb. The energy, what's being pumped out, is trying to make us dumb, really dumb. It wants us not to think. It wants us only to look at the screen. It wants us not to think about what we're doing, how we're acting. And it certainly doesn't want us to heal. It wants us to be in internal sickness and in this illusion that we call a black screen. This illusion. It's an illusion. That's not real. This is not real. The black screen isn't real. Most of it is fake. Most of it is lies. Most of it is selling you shit that you just throw away and you didn't need. But the fact that you bought into that energy because you heard the advert and it was so exciting, then you realize it was just junk. And it's all fakery now. It's all energy harvesting. And I think the reason why I make these videos now is to wake people up to the power of crystals, because they bring a really powerful energy that cuts or wakes you up a little bit from the slumber of what the black screen tries to pull you into. So there is some kind of disruptive energy with a crystal while you're wearing it to the energy that's outside and the black screen attack on humanity. So crystals are great for children, and they're great because children are very, very attuned, more so than we are, because we've had it beaten out of us. They are still pure, so to speak. So their purity is essentially empathy. And empathy is a powerful energy that we shouldn't shake out of them. It really is sad to see mums and dads having no time for the children and just letting them stick the face into a black screen, telling them to shut up, telling them to be quiet, telling them, just basically knocking the purity out of their child and creating the very same person that they are. However, they want their child to be a better version of themselves, but it's impossible because your child mimics exactly what you do and what you say. So a crystal will help empathy. Crystal will help you feel when you're saying something wrong. It will mirror image your thoughts. So your consciousness becomes stronger when you wear a crystal. If you've not got a crystal on, you're kind of reliant on the brain power, and the brain screams and shouts and commands and is in charge and is in the driving force in this body. So your consciousness doesn't have much of a say in day-to-day thoughts and feelings. But when you wear a crystal, there is kind of like a pulse energy in a crystal. There's a pulse energy that happens, and it may be hitting certain parts of your body which needs healing, of course, and it may hit certain parts of the body that needs strengthening. All of these things are happening simultaneously, but there is something that changes you when you wear it close to your heart, and that is the life force, the battery, which is connected or is one with the consciousness. And it's almost like giving it energy. So it feeds it, so it becomes stronger. So the consciousness has more of a say, because the body temple now is changing frequency from heavy frequency up here of all your thoughts and on your program, what you're being programmed every day on your black screen. As soon as you pick your black screen up, that's your day. Whatever you look at, that's your day. You've already started. You've done it. You've already started it. It's kickstarted this, and then the rest of the day follows. So you become weak, you become unsuccessful, you become exhausted, you become negative, you become angry because of this. If you didn't have this today, you wouldn't have any of those thoughts. You just get on with your life and you see outside and everybody gets, well, there's another person there just walking on a phone, head down. It's just everybody is zombies now. Literally, we're all zombies. But we snap out if we're wearing a crystal. We can snap out of it, because if you create the body temple to have that space of frequency of crystals, it's like it quietens down the mind chatter for some reason. It quietens it down, and your body feels this energy, and then your body then starts to listen to the voice of the consciousness over the voice in your brain that is constantly screaming and shouting and never stops. I've always said that the brain, it is like a sentence without a full stop. It's continue. It doesn't want a full stop, because the brain is made to continue. That's what it's there for. It's like a pair of legs. They want to run, right? Most of them. That's what they're there for, to run. So the brain is there, to just keep thinking. Your eyes are there to just keep looking, and yet when you close your eyes, you see far more, because you open something new up. Again, the crystal allows that to happen and gives you that moment of inner peace, because your body starts to change, frequency changes. What I noticed when I first started healing work with crystals is that I always found that clients always seemed more in tune with their senses when I gifted them a crystal. And those that I didn't give a crystal to, then the healing wouldn't last as long. So it was a complement between a crystal and a healing session. Really beautiful complement. So that's why I used to go to the crystal shops in Malaga and buy as many crystals as I could with the money that I just made from giving a healing session or a psychic read. So I used to go to Malaga 3, 4, 5 times a week and come back and have jars of crystals, and then pick one out for their client and always give a crystal to a client when they leave. And they'd say, what's that for? I say, just keep it close to you, hold it. And if there's ever a moment that you feel you want to gift it to somebody else, you're always welcome to gift it to somebody that you think needs it more than you. It was just something that I said, but a lot of people did gift it away, but a lot of people held it and believed wholeheartedly, and they weren't into crystals at all, that the crystal helped them. And I know this is a fact because crystals have helped me. I've seen it. It's helped me with thousands of clients. I've seen the change and the healing of clients where a crystal is being placed onto their solar plexus or onto their third eye, or if they're turned to the side, I put it on their temples or their crown. If they're just sat down in the seat and I'm giving them a healing session, I would put I just take my crystal off and just place it there and then give the healing with the crystal and then take it off. And sometimes I would gift the crystal afterwards because it still retains the same memory. Unfortunately, we don't retain the same memory as positive memory. We tend to retain negative energy more because our body is more built up now on negative energy. Why is that? Well, because of what we're not eating, which is healthy food, because of what's poured over us from the skies, because of what's been injected inside us, because of all the negative energy that's around, all the lies by the globalists, everything that we know is wrong. So we are actually vibrate normally on a very low frequency. Nobody admits that. Nobody would admit it, but it's the truth. You will, if we're looking at, that tick tock, this is positive, this is negative, I guarantee you will tick more to negative at any given situation than positive. Whatever that situation is, you'll tick to the negative. You'll say, oh no, I don't believe it. I don't believe in myself. Oh no, I don't think I'm worthy of it. Oh, I don't think that will happen for me. I don't think, oh yeah, it's so nice, but I don't deserve it. It's like we always tick to the negative. Very, very few tick to the positive. And if you do, then people think you're crazy. Something wrong with her. There's something wrong with him. They're always happy. This is how we have created this spacesuit to be more of a heavy energy of negativity. So you can see that a crystal doesn't have that. It just has a frequency of positive energy. When you hold it, you can feel it's more positive. So when you put positive energy into a crystal, it stays. It really stays. That's why when I give a healing session or I work with these crystals, I'll hold one in my hand and I might spend an hour or two. I might hold 5 in my hand and in both hands and spend 3 hours. But the energy that I put into that is positive energy, which stays in the crystal, which is added into the crystal. So I'll focus my energy on a certain thought of what the outcome I want for you when you wear it. That stays in there. Now, if I give you a healing session, it's the same thing. I'm giving a healing session to a crystal for 1 hour. I give you a healing session because I'm channeling that very energy to come into you to heal you. Now, you'll get up and feel great and go for a walk, and then you'll go back to your environment. You'll go back to your thought process, and then you'll start to spew out the negative, which is like tar, and it rolls all down your body, and it might sit in your stomach or it might sit in your heart. It might, but in general, you'll start feeling bad again, or you'll go to an environment where you'll start feeling bad because everybody else in that environment is vibrating at a low frequency. So like tuning forks, if there are 50 tuning forks vibrating at C and you come in at A, you will vibrate at C because all of the rest of them will vibrate you into line. Same where you go into an environment where you've had an argument with your brother or sister, your mum, your dad, your partner, or you're upset with things, and that energy is in your bedroom, it's in your house, and you have to learn how to clean that out. If you don't, then you'll come back to me for another healing session, and then you'll go back to your house and revert back to that frequency. So for the 20 years I noticed these things, I spoke about them. And there's so many aspects of how we're attacked every day. There's so many attacks on us that when you sit down and watch and look and observe as a healer, you can see that there's not much hope for humanity to vibrate at high frequency that you're meant to. We are constantly bombarded by lies, manipulations, by poisons. We're totally manipulated by frequency now. There's not much hope. So what do we do? Well, we try and eat natural foods if we can find them. We try and go into Mother Earth to get as much of her healing from Mother Earth. We try to sit by a tree. We try and go to the sea, and these things help. But what I noticed was a crystal also helps. So I talk about going to the sea. I talk about going into Mother Nature. I talk about going for a healing session or learning how to heal yourself. And I also talk about crystals. Therefore, if we come back to the very beginning of this conversation, are crystals good for everyone? Well, after this conversation, what do you think? Do you think they are? So I like I said, there are times that people reject things, and they reject them because there are possibilities that there are attachments to them, or that they are so angry with their life that they don't believe that they deserve any happiness. They've got to the stage in their life that they are more comfortable in sadness. They're more comfortable in ridicule, mockery, judgment, jealousy, bitterness, anger. That's their comfort zone. That's all they know. So if you give somebody a crystal like that, the frequency that will start to admit to their body is a positive frequency. When you give somebody who's negative something positive, or if you stand next to somebody who's negative, you can see the reaction. They don't like it. They don't like the reaction. And then you think, oh, they don't like me. No, it's not you. It's your energy they don't like, because they're not used to it. They don't like it, and they're frightened of it, and that they're not comfortable with it. They don't know how to smile. They don't know how to say something lovely. It's just not in their energy. It's not, they don't vibrate at that tuning fork frequency like you do. But still, by placing a crystal on somebody and allowing them at least allow, maybe not, maybe other word is giving them something comfortable that they you're not tricking them, but you like I said, here's a crystal, it's for 5G, it helps you maybe clear your headache if you're looking at your phone all the time. All right, then I'll have that then, I'll take that then. And he might be a negative guy and he might always be on his phone, but now he's put that crystal on because he's accepted that, oh, it might help with his headache. Okay, so we introduce crystals to certain people knowing that they're far more powerful than just for a headache, and they can change your energy. And I've seen more sit change somebody like that in an instant. I've seen Vesuvianite change somebody like that in an instant. I've seen somebody change like that with a Moldavite. Just putting around the neck. And so as a healer, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys are healers or not, but a lot of the times I used to put a crystal around people's necks when I was healing them. Guys, especially. Women are a lot more open to crystal. They're a lot more open to minerals. Guys, not so much. So I'd put it around the neck and then go like that and then continue the healing session. And normally when you're giving a healing session, especially if you're at one of the big shows, if you're at London, what Mind, Body and Spirit shows, then you've got your seat there, and you might do them lying down or you might do them sat in the seat. What I used to do is I used to have cord. I mean, I always have a load of cord, right? Depending on what I'm doing as a healing session to the client, it depends where I want the crystal to go. So I'd have the crystals lined up, the pendants lined up. I'd have the cords lined up, and I'd be giving a healing session to a guy that I think, okay, this guy needs healing really badly, because I can feel at the back and the front he's got issues. It feels like his father used to abuse him. I can feel, so I'm working on his energy. At the same time, I take this, take the Tektite and get it right down. I put it on his neck and then put it down, then it hits his belly. And I continue the healing session for 25, 40 minutes. And when it's finished, cheers, shake hands or cuddle, he walks off, he's gone. He's not even thought about the crystal around his neck. So that was one way of giving a crystal to a guy who would never accept a crystal because he doesn't believe in any of that. So I know it's a little bit devious, but it's devious of love. It's a little bit sneaky of love. I'm doing it for the right reasons. I'm not selling anything. The guy's had a free healing session. He feels better. And then I see him again because he might fly over from London to have a healing session. This happened many times. Many women and men, after me doing London shows, they used to fly over, come for healing classes, come for healing sessions. And it was lovely. You know, so if you are a healer, when the heart that gives is always full. And I didn't do it to get clients. I did it because my heart's full and I want them to experience something beautiful. Like I said, sometimes when a I always reference to men because men are more difficult, right? They're not as easy to explain things, and they're kind of very solid in their thoughts, and this is it, and I don't believe any of this. But for me, putting a crystal on a guy and then seeing them again after 3 months or 6 months, and he does this, still got it, doesn't know why he's got it. Oh, I just wear it. Yeah, but why do you wear it? Just I don't know. I just wear it. Well, you know exactly why he's wearing it, but maybe his consciousness knows everything, but his mind is so resistant to anything that he's never been taught in a schooling system. So it's phenomenal. Crystals are used by science every day. You ask any of the scientists in the world, they'll talk about crystals having frequency. Crystals are phenomenal in most huge computer systems because, you get a quartz and, you set it alight. I don't really want to do it really, but if I get a smoky quartz and set it alight, set it on fire, it doesn't get hot. It's cold to the touch. So there's an absorption of heat that when you put them into computers, it cools the computers down. But if you look at old pocket watches, this was always referenced that if you open a pocket watch, what's it got inside? Why does it always talk about jewels? Why would you even want to put jewels in there? Well, you put jewels in there because they hold a frequency that balances the pocket watches. So there's so much more that we mock and ridicule a crystal healer or somebody selling crystals as just woo-woo. Well, they're not, because they're used in science. And actually, after 20 years of working with crystals, if somebody said to me, how could I help that person? They don't want to help themselves. I say, buy him a crystal. As long as it's genuine, buy him a genuine crystal. What kind? Well, what's wrong with him? Well, he's all in his mind all the time. He's angry, he's in his mind all the time. Well, start him off with a nice piece of rose quartz. It's good for the mind, really does help and calms you down. And my daughter, she's just totally depressed all the time. Start her with a nice piece of pink petalite. Fantastic. Really healing crystal. And so on. Well, my brother is just totally cabbage potato. He doesn't do anything. He's kind of like, he's got no enthusiasm. Buy a nice piece of tiger's eye and put it on a pendant, get a pendant and let him wear it. It's great energy. And so on and so on. My mum's suffering really bad. She's kind of not well at all. Buy her a nice piece of Sleeping Beauty. The power of that crystal is phenomenal. For reasons that I've learned, and so on. Every crystal really does have a unique frequency. And what I've tried to do as a healer, as a crystal healer as well, is try and understand the frequency of that crystal to clients. And one thing that I'm not so popular about is that I don't really believe that this crystal will help everybody the same way. I believe that this crystal will help people differently. So therefore, it's hard to write a book about what crystal will help everybody with. So when I do a channeled night, or like on my website, I do channeled crystals, what I do is I feel your energy, I get your name and feel your energy and try and connect to what is needed. So it may be on a level of health. It might be on a level of spirituality, and I'll try and combine everything to feel the best crystal for you. So if I'm ever doing, like I did it last night, I close my eyes and I ask, what crystal is good for Jenny, what crystal is good for Brendan right now, and I'll wait to see what comes up. And then I'll channel the message as well, what I feel is good for that crystal. Normally, it's already in my thoughts, but I always like to confirm it with a card. So I sometimes give a big smile. It's fascinating how it works. I give you a great example. Somebody sent me a video of a guy who it was not so long. It was only 20 minutes ago. And I can't remember his name, but he's an archaeologist that everybody mocks because he talks about a certain part of history that he believes was missing. And he's brought a Netflix thing out. Anyway, it was on a podcast. I don't know which podcast it was, but they sent it me. And this is I know it's got nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but this is synchronicity, how it works when I'm doing the cards, right? I'm listening to him talk. At the same time, I'm making granola with dates, dried dates, and I'm cutting the dates up. But as I pick the date up, the guy says, and the date, as I turn to look at the date. So the guy says date as I'm actually picking a date up or thinking about picking the date up at the very same moment. It's called synchronicity. And I smiled 20 minutes ago when it happened. Well, that's the same as when I've got these cards and I close my eyes and see the crystal for you. So as I see the crystal for you, I'll go like, in my head, it will say, I'll see a color of maybe purple, and then I'll see what's it called? Emotion. So I might see a breast. That's mother love. And then I'll pick a card and I'll see, purple, a breast. So it's confirmation of what I'm getting. That's why I use the cards. And it's beautiful because when that happens all the time, it's like, that's your confirmation. That's like saying this is real, this works. So when people put a crystal on and go out and something magical happens, which happened to a lot of my clients, they believe that it was the crystal that did that because they've never experienced anything like it before. And I say to them, well, could it be, what's changed? Why did that happen? What's changed? What did you do differently? Nothing. Well, didn't you put a crystal on? Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I had this crystal on. Penny drop moment. Some people come and already say it's the crystal. So I talk about crystals with love and enthusiasm, and I love crystals. I buy them all the time. I'm hunting for the best crystals, the most beautiful crystals every day, like them. And the thousands that I have and own and love. And that is because I want to share that with the world. I've been very lucky, actually, because not only have I shared crystals from the very beginning of doing this work out of people coming to me asking me every day for crystals, please work on a crystal for me. Please get me this crystal. Please work on it for, 50 hours, 30 hours, to the point where I actually started a website with crystals, and 80 to 90% are returning clients. So I don't have to worry about having to advertise because people buy because they enjoy the crystals, because I work on this one. So I'll work on that maybe 13, 14, 15 hours of healing energy, of specific healing energy. And people like that. So it's not like I had to try to do anything. It was a natural process. Plus the fact that if people are buying from me, it's an absolutely beautiful confirmation that there must be something in that crystal. Not everybody. People are new and they might not understand my work and they think, oh, it's a bit too small or it's too big. It's like, it doesn't matter how big or small it is. Work with the energy. If you're valuing it at what you see the size, or it's too big and you're looking at that's not my crystals. Go to a crystal store and buy what you want. My crystals are pure energy healing crystals. They're completely different than a crystal that you would buy from a store. because they're worked upon. There's hours of work gone into them, of love and healing, like I would give an absent healing to you. Or maybe not every month anymore, but if you've ever sat and had a healing session with me, it's exactly the same. It's exactly how I work with these crystals when I'm sat there, sat on the bed, sat here. Doesn't matter where I'm feeling comfortable, and I work on them crystals. And sometimes I might fall asleep, but at least that energy is in there now. I don't know if I told you, but the other day, I went down to the office, and in the office we've got like about 40 rows of crystal cabinets, and all the crystals are in there, A to Z. And I went to one of the cabinets to take out a crystal. Right now, imagine if you open the drawer, there might be, depending on what it is, I can't remember what crystal it was, but there was about 5 drawers. So there must have been about 2,000 crystals. I went in and picked out a crystal randomly, right? Randomly picked out a crystal out of 2,000 of this particular type of crystal. It could have been, let's say it was a tektite, I can't remember. And I picked it out. And I came up here and I had a phone call, and I picked the phone up and they said, "You don't happen to have tektite 664? I'm like, "Why?" "Well, it's just sold." I'm like, hang on a minute, going in my pocket, pulled it out, tektite 664. It sold the moment I picked it up. And why I'm saying this is because it's called energy. So I often refer to my ex-wife, Susie, that we had a shop called Tickle Pink. And every time she had a load of new ornaments or jewelry or whatever came into the shop, she'd pick up this beautiful, new piece. It might have been a Betty Boop, little Betty Boop figure. And she'll say, "Look, Mark, isn't it beautiful?" I'm saying, "Yeah, it's beautiful." She says, "This is going to sell." And I'm going to go, "I'm sure it is." So out of all the shops, 4,000 items in that shop, she puts the Betty Boop up, right? And from nowhere, somebody walks into the shop. They might be from Japan, because we have about 1 million people a year coming to this village, okay? And she's never been in this shop before. She's never seen the shop. Everything's new to her. And she'll walk straight up to the Betty Boop and bring it down and put it down, and Susie will turn and look at me and smile as if to say, "Aren't I brilliant at what I've just bought?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're brilliant." I never said to her, "It's because of your energy." It's because of the energy you just put into that. And somebody feels that energy. Just like I went to pick up that crystal out of 1,000 or 2,000 of that particular crystal, and I picked up the right one, and somebody went onto the website and bought that at the same time. What is the chances of that being random? Or could it be, when all things are equal, Occam's razor, that they felt the energy that I put into it? And that's why markbajerski.com, I believe, has been, it's been a success, because I do what I say. And I know a lot of crystal healers who are little fibbers. They're not all together truthful what they say. And I tried to employ one who said, "Oh yeah, I'll do it. I'd love to do that." And then I caught them and they didn't do it. They weren't doing it. And I could feel they weren't doing it. So, if you are in love with what you do because you know it works, then nobody can talk you out of that. Nobody can tell you that. Your proof is in your clients coming back saying, "I don't know why, but I like Mark's crystal. I don't know why, but I put Mark's crystal on my daughter and she's better. I can't explain this, but I put my crystal on my beautiful doggy that was sick. And then 2 days later, my doggy was really well and strong, and my doggy was sick for a long time." Like, you can't lie about that. You can't put messages up about that. Why would anybody want to lie about that? If somebody's been sick and they've got better, you're going to say, so you see, every day we get messages. Some days we get messages of people not being happy because they didn't get they thought they was going to get something, maybe a different size, or that's normal. We get that all the time, because Mark Bajerski doesn't work like other crystal stores work, where they take photos and sizes and all that. But no, my crystal isn't because it looks beautiful. It's because I put energy into it. And if you've been pulled to that crystal, then believe in that crystal, no matter how big. It doesn't matter if it's massive. I don't want it, it's too big. Yeah, but there's something in that crystal that's good for you. Work with it and see what happens. You'd be surprised how your thoughts change and like, oh, I love it now. But I thought you said it was too big. Yeah, I know. But I love it now. Well, I'll take it back and give you another. No. I want it now. This is what I've been used to over the years. It's been beautiful. It's lovely. It's lovely. And that's why I wrote 2 books. And this is one of them. I've just had it here. I don't know why I put it there, but this is one of them. And every story in here, there's a lot of stories about, you know, I maybe not probably mentioned crystals as much as I should have done. But the second book, I did. I mentioned a lot more about crystals. But the first book was definitely inspired with crystals, especially Moldavite, Sleeping Beauty. There's so many. It's hard to remember the crystals that I used to use. Pyrite, so many crystals. So many people like had windfalls. I don't like to talk about that too much, but it's true. They had a lot of windfalls of somebody coming into their life, or something happened to them that just happened that they got something, you know, like they might have inherited something, or they got a fantastic job offer. And that's why I say pyrite. I saw this pattern of people becoming abundant with pyrite. Moldavite, I saw a pattern of people from being absolutely atheist to believers, and then started to, you know, read up on the world and how the world is, and not how we're being told it is. So more, I don't like to use the word spirituality too much, but it is that kind of spirit and that new connection to something inside that Moldavite does. It certainly does do something, for sure it did. So that's why I gave away more pieces of Moldavite than probably any other crystal. I gift every day now crystals, every day. What today? Morsitsit gifted to a girl who was going through really bad pain today with sprays, my sprays, detox sprays that I brought out with, what else? My oils. Which oil did I gift? A bottle of sacred oil, some cleansing negative energy sticks, and some sages. Shipped that off today. 2 girls, just their mum walked out of their life. Dad's looking after them. 2 crystals, and a crystal for Dad, gone as a gift. And so on. Every day we do our best to help people. And, you know, I said, you know, somebody said to me, you know, really nasty. Somebody said something the other day, really nasty. If you're such a nice guy, why aren't you in Valencia helping lift these people and all this? And I'm like, because I'm not in Valencia, and everybody who's in Valencia is there helping, and everybody in that area, there's thousands there now helping, seeing the lies and the hypocrisy, and everybody who sent, you know, clothes there, and then all the authorities got rid of the clothes and burnt them with excuses of that, or they're contaminated. You know what I mean? It's just I don't want to be involved in that. What I can do here is my bit around you guys. That's what I do. My bit around. I clean my doorstep, help next door neighbor, help there. Got a tub of yesterday of raw coconut, because my landlord's kind of, I said, your mind's not as strong, and he got a bit upset, and I said, here, take this twice a day, 2 teaspoons twice a day. I said, keep taking it, you'll be strong up here, because you just need to clear this out. So I'm always trying to help, just like you are. We're all doing our bit. We're all trying to clean our doorsteps, you know? We're all trying to help clean other people's doorsteps. That's what we do. But there's still this brainwashed society of, if you're not, you know, in Jesus clothes, in rags, and you're not whipping yourself, you're not hurting yourself, and you're not eating a bowl of rice, and you've got no money, then you can't be spiritual. This is, you know, this idea of you have to be poor for anybody to listen to you. But yes, full of shit, mate, because you won't listen to anybody poor. In fact, you walk past them and you just look at them and just walk away from them. So stop being a hypocrite. Don't say things like that, because you don't mean them at all. But this is how people think, and this is why it's so difficult for people who want to get onto the energy of healing. Oh, you can't charge for that, can you? You shouldn't be charging for that. You should be giving that free. And again, all of these things are there to stop us. So I hope to inspire people by saying, don't listen to these people, because they are weak, they are judgmental, and they're not nice people. So who are you listening to? That's the important thing. Because maybe if people stop you from doing what you really want to do, maybe you're listening to the wrong people. So everybody in my family that are still in my company and who love me for what I do. And I love them for what they do. And my other part of the family that, you know, said I was awful and I'm crazy and you're only doing it for the money. And like, if I was doing it for the money, pal, I would have done a lot of other things where I would have made a lot more money. This wasn't about money. You don't spend 2 years giving free healing sessions when you're about the money. But it doesn't matter. Even if you try and explain yourself, you can't explain yourself to people who don't want to hear you. They've already made their mind up, and they're going to judge you for the rest of your life. So walk away from them people to start your life, and to surround yourself with people who love you for who you are, and so that you can love them back for who they are. Everything that I share with you on all these videos over these past, 12, 15 years, the 3,000 videos that are on YouTube, they're all about the experience of my clients, what I've been through, and how I've seen them strengthen, how I've seen them overcome the brainwashing of school, of their mum and their dad, to break the mold of that, to become amazing parents, to become amazing human beings, and so on. And the healing of people that said you could never heal, you'll always be like this. Break the mold of that spell, what's being given to us every day. We spell every day, by the way. Every day we're spelling all the time. We don't even know it. Every day we give rituals. We do rituals all the time and we don't know it. So be careful with your rituals. Be careful with your spells. And also be careful who you surround yourself, who are giving you a spell and a ritual. You can go anywhere in the world and see rituals taking place. If you ever see two football teams, they're both screaming at each other, that's a ritual. They're all rituals. They're based on rituals. You're all putting your energy into wanting somebody to do bad. You're going to lose. We're going to kick your head in. It's all rituals. It's all dark. So be careful what you watch and who you're listening to. You don't want to surround yourself with people being judgmental all the time, because that is a frequency that comes back to you. Don't use judgmental in your energy. Don't think about judging other people in any negative way, because that is a frequency that will affect you. It is so hard to find good frequency within yourself if you're in your brain. If you switch your freaking brain off, you'll go straight into your heart and then you'll feel at peace, because your heart doesn't judge. Your consciousness does not judge. That's why you've got to be in here. And that's why we put a crystal here, because the frequency admits such a wave of energy that allows this spacesuit to turn into a frequency of love. So it's not overshadowed by dark thoughts and negative energy. So thus, I answer the question that I first put to you all. Are crystals good for everyone? I believe so. I do wish you all a lovely day. Thank you for going to markbajerski.com and buying your authentic crystals, incense, and oils. And now, mist, the new strong mist. If you want a nice, gentle one, please don't buy mine because they're strong. Very strong. But you can feel it. It's amazing. So that's it. I don't think I've got anything else to say. Has anybody got any questions before I go? Because Mark's not very good at interacting. Thanks, everybody. Nice messages. Thank you so much. I can see thank you. So thanks very much. Very kind. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you. I'm wishing you all a lovely day. Yeah, I'm gonna head. I think I'm gonna head home and have a bit of rest because last night was quite overpowering for me, and I still think I'm a little bit tired too. So please be aware that the tarot course is now at a brilliant price, which is $120. It's normally $250, and it includes the cards and free DHL worldwide delivery. And the Pure Energy Healing course, Crystal course, is now at $147, and it's normally $550. Now, we've had a load of people who have bought the course, and we're really happy about it. And it's just phenomenal. So if you want to learn a little bit more with me about crystals, this course is phenomenal. Hit the Pure Energy Healing Academy and go to the crystal course. Click on courses and go to the crystal course. It's a beautiful course. It's really online. It's videos, and you'll learn so much. So give it a try. You'll love it, especially at the price. It's like buying a crystal off my website. It's 4 days of magic, learning all about pure energy healing. So that's, if you want to get to it, it's www.PEHP for Papa, E for Echo, H for Hotel, academy.com. And then click courses, scroll down, hit enroll for the Pure Energy Crystal Healing course. And it's now at $147. And it's a 4-day course. You'll absolutely love it. It's absolutely brilliant. If you love crystals, this is a great opportunity right now while this course is at that price. It's brilliant. So I guess that's it, really. I'll go and do some work. I'm wishing you all a lovely day. Take care, guys. Thanks for joining me. Always lovely to have you.